Right, good morning everyone. Now I'm just going to share with you what I've done so far. It has all dried now, so I've got a nice sheen on this. I'm going to be painting this black around here. I did start and put the first layer of acrylic paint on the flowers. The middle is going to be black, but then I want these a nice red and yellow. So I've started to do those, but while it was sat drying I could only reach the side ones. We've got the cap on, it's now securely on. We've got some of the pumpkins on, and they do need to be painted up again. And I've got a couple of leaves that need to be glued on, so I've put my glue gun on and we're going to pop them back in place like that. And I've got another one to go here. Now, where is that? So I've got one missing. No, we can put that in there. Yeah, we'll pop that one in there, I think. Like that. I've got one of those missing somewhere. It ain't on the desk, so where has it gone? I don't know. Never mind. Let me just check I haven't dropped it on the floor, because knowing me I will have done. I don't want to stand on it if I can continue to use it. No, nothing on the floor. Apart from the flower I've just found. So that's that. Right, never mind. We don't need it. I'll put a leaf in there. So yeah, I started to use these new paints. These are the Candence, and this is a green. There's different shades of green and a brown that I've used. So I need to do these like a rustic red, then an orange, and then lighten them up as we go along. I need to colour all of this. So that I'm going to get on with this morning. Now I've got a little bit of card at the side of me. There's one for black, one for white. Just going to move my little pins. And brush, etc. And this is part 3, but before I do the top I'm just going to paint the bottom flowers. And I'm just using the Winsor & Newton acrylics. Oops. And to do that I'm just dabbing it on. That's all you need to do. Get in the nooks and crannies. We don't want it all painted yellow. Doesn't matter if you go over, because that's, like I say, going to be painted black. Now what I might do is stop the video. Sorry, speed up the video. Because it can be a long process, and as long as you can see what I'm doing, I don't really need to talk. I'm just going to get some of the white. And some of the black. Those down at the side of me. I don't knock them over. Roll my sleeves up. And we'll just get going with this. So again, like I say, I'm just going to do the middles first. and this is the Americana. It's called Berry Red. So what I'm going to do is the inside of this first. Around the petals. Now I'm also going to, let me just wash that. I'm going to get some of the yellow out because I want to be able to blend them in. That is like a bold colour at the moment. I want to blend it in. So I'm going to have to swap between brushes. Let me just get some of this watered down a little bit. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to paint everything before you put it together. Sometimes it helps, but you don't have to do it like that. And when you're putting paint on your little palettes or wherever you put your paint, you can use anything, but I use scrap card and that. It uses my scrap card up. I use pots sometimes, but you don't have to. There's no particular thing you have to do when you're crafting. You do whatever makes you comfortable. And like I say, scrap paper you can just throw away and it can be burnt. It won't be left in the soil and that, will it? You want to be a little bit environmentally friendly, should I say. Now we're just going to let that dry a little bit. I'll just see if I can see anything I might have missed. which with my eyesight, probably loads. But you see, that looks really nice, doesn't it? And then I am going to use the small brush for doing the black paint. And I'm just going to ease this around here. And we get into the nooks and crannies. Projects like this, you can take your time, and you should. Now, just because I'm painting it black doesn't mean it's staying black. I like to do black under everything on a lot of my projects, because that way I can alter the colour. If everything's covered black, you're not going to see any gaps once you've painted it in your lighter colours, or whichever you're going to do with it. See, the joins are quite nice. Just keep turning it and turning it until you've got it at the angle you want. And I can see by the light shining on it where I need to do a little bit more. I'll go over it. And as you can see, it's crackling, because I put the crackling effect on yesterday. You know, like the crackling paint. To look, can you see? And I like that. That's really nice. I'll spin this back round here. So even though I added the crackling paste yesterday, it's the paint, should I say, it's crackling it now. So that's good that that's working. Yeah, I like that that's working. And I'm just using normal black acrylic paint. Can you see it better now? It's working. That's great. That's fine by me. Well, that's the effect I was going for anyway. Oh, we're not bothered about that bit there that I've just smudged on. We can paint over that. Beautiful crackling on that. Nice. Not too much. You know, you don't want to do it too much. There. That's going to do that nicely. Quite happy with that. Right. So I'm just going to let that dry. I'm going to go back to the top and we'll finish painting these leaves. So I've got this brown here. Let me just rest this on something. Just like that. And this one is, it's so small the writing I can hardly see. Well, it's, I don't know what it is. I can't see what it says. It's just a brown paste. But I'm going to use that on the pumpkins. Hopefully you've seen all of that anyway. I love this orangey yellow colour in this as well. So, but like I say, I'm going to do the brown. Doesn't matter if it goes on this on these swirls, because you're going to be dealing with them shortly. Doesn't matter if you go onto the leaves, you're going to be dealing with them as well, because there's more to do to them. Let's just plug my lamp in, see if I can see any better. Oh, a little bit. Not much, a little bit. And these are like a paste paint, if you know what I mean. I didn't want to just do them and then pop them on to here. I will be making a pumpkin out of clay, now that the clay's arrived, to show you how to do it. Because they look like they're done in sections, but they're not. and all the colours will tie in together eventually. So I did let the pumpkins dry before I attempted to put them on. You know, before I glued them onto the project, onto the egg. Once I'd made them, just let everything dry and then attach it. I mean, you don't have to. I often put glue lots of clay things that I've made to something before. I don't always let things dry, what I'm saying is, myself, because you don't have to. But in this case I did, because they've got to sit properly. And they're heavy with it being clay. This wasn't the air dry clay, this was normal clay. You know, so they did have to sit on top and stay put. Right, so we've got that for now. I'm just going to let that dry. Don't forget to paint the stalks, which I'd already started. Like that. I do like that. It's coming up really nice. Right, I'm just going to finish the leaf bit. Oh, sit there then. Shut this up. And then what I'm going to do is, I do have an orange I need to get hold of, so I'm going to put these where I can use them. So I'm just going to get the orange. Now, do I have an orange? I have that colour, which is not orange, but it's a pinky colour. But it might come in useful. I need a bit more of the yellow. I've got that one. Let's have a look. Red and yellow. Right. So I'm just going to get a little bit of red and mix it in with a little bit of yellow. And we get that orangey colour. And I mean, a lot of this will be dry, but not all of it. Right, I'm just going to share with you about a little bit about blending. I've got a piece of card here. Let me get my brush. Now, when blending, if you want to blend paints together, then you preferably need them when they're wet. So I'm just going to share with you. If I painted something and left it like that, and then I wanted to do another colour, of course I could do a second colour. I'm going to get a bit of yellow, and there's my second colour, but they look so bold together. And the way to do it is, while they're wet, blend them. So I'm brushing the yellow into the brown, and brushing the brown, which I can go back and do again while that's wet, and then pick the yellow up while that's wet. And swing it round while it's wet, keep it going while it's wet. Right, and then I can go back to blending that. See? And it blends it in. So I've still got the darkness there. I'm just going to wipe that, pick up the yellow, and blend that back in that way. And that is so much better to have it blended than to have two bold colours side by side. So like when I'm doing the pumpkins, see, that looks better, this one, instead of having it like that. You can easily blend everything in while your paints are wet, and they look better blended. You can always go back in again and add more light to the dark, and then you can go back in and add a touch of the dark to the light again. But blend them in. They look so much better. Like that. So when I'm doing a pumpkin, that's the shape of the pumpkin, right? And you obviously they're not as dark, flat as that at the bottom, but that's your pumpkin. I can use a bit of red because it's got like a rich colour to it. And then we can add a bit of yellow. And it gives it shape, you know, which is what you're looking for. You start to get a shape with it. And it gives it life. And then I can take the white and give it a bit more life. And we can always go back in with another colour. To give it a bit more life. Blend. See? Same with greens and things like that. You know, to do like a leaf. I'm just going to get a little bit of green on the brush. And we're just going to add a little leaf in. But you wouldn't just do, you know, a leaf like that. You want a bit of shape to it and a bit of colour, wouldn't you? So then you go in again with another colour, like you can go in a bit of yellow. Like that, and then you can add, let me just get that off the brush, a little bit of white or something. Just a touch of white. So highlight that. You can add it. My brush isn't the right one, to be honest. I'm just going to try and get a bit of white here. You know. And then you can go back in with the black. Undo that. Get your stalk. You can highlight the creases. I mean, I'm doing it in one brush. I should do it with a small brush. I can definitely go back in and alter that if I want to. You know, make it a bit more orange. Obviously it's brought in like that. But I'm on about how you paint them to make them look lifelike. If I wanted to take a small brush and then I can add it to the green, add a little bit of water to the green. I'm just going to use it here. Add a bit more green. And then we can put little swirly bits in. You know, and you can decorate it however you want. See, like that. You'd put a little bit of colour here. That's not the right one actually. So we'll ignore that. And you can take a little bit of white. You add it to all your little bits as well. And it becomes more lifelike. You know what I mean? So, just going to put a little bit more in the leaf. It's just basically playing about but layer, you know, so that you can make it look more lifelike. And then you can add a little bit of I'm on about if you're painting, whatever you like. I'm painting those pumpkins now. I want them to be lifelike, so that's a bit of greenery, a bit of mud, but we want to put a bit of greenery in it so it looks like grass and whatnot. So I'm adding a different colour, obviously. like that. And then you just go in with a hint of white and you just touch up. It just makes it a lot more lifelike. You know. See? So the idea is to make them as lifelike as you can. I hope you've seen that. See? So when you're doing your projects and you're painting, whether it's a 3D or not, it doesn't matter. Just try and put some highlights in. And it just makes it look a lot better. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of yellow and highlight that a little bit more. See? I hope that's helpful. Layer. Start with dark, work to light. You can always go over each one again. And just make it lifelike. As lifelike as possible. And whether it's a painting, whether it's a plaque, or you're painting a wooden spoon, you know, with a picture on, or whatever. Try and make it as lifelike as you can. and we're going to go back to doing the pumpkins. Sorry, I hope you are seeing this.